What the fuck is up, Juggalos? This is the Murder Mayhem Show. I'm the host, Mitchell. The top story, this.
Those were some awesome furries. That's the end of day one. We hope you had a good time, right?
Yes, that is Violent J at the Midwest Fur Fest Furry Convention. And if you're wondering why this is the top story today, then you're already far ahead of me because this should not matter, but to be honest, I find this extremely weird. Now, if you're like me and you find this extremely weird as well, here's what I want to say to you. We need to just let this go because I know in my brain, in the rational part of my brain, that this is fine, it's cool, it doesn't matter, who cares. He's clearly simply there to support his daughter. It doesn't matter. So what I want to say to you, if you find this strange, is just don't even go there. Because what are we as Juggalos always asking the outside world to do when it comes to our business? If you don't get it, just stay the fuck out of it. And I think we can extend this same courtesy to fellow Juggalo like Violent J. But what I do find extra fresh about it is that it's actually the very spirit of Fearless Fred Fury. See, think about this. Violent J has pretty much served all of his haters a all-you-can-eat buffet of disses for the rest of his life. There's pretty much no rap battle or beef that he could get into now where his opponent isn't just going to keep bringing this up. But what he's done by being so outward about it is totally neutralize the attacks because he never once tried to hide what he was doing. Even the fursuit mask has his face paint on it. He created a new Instagram account that seemingly was made specifically so that he could take videos and pictures of the convention. So he's put the whole thing on blast and not giving a rat's ass what people are going to say about it. That's the fearlessness, the not giving a fuck. And he talked about this at the motivational speech at the gathering. He's talked about it in interviews and stuff. That's what the fearlessness is all about. Because if he was trying to hide this, if this was some kind of a secret thing and it got out there, then it would be embarrassing. They would be so much worse. Whereas the way that he put it out there himself, it's like, who gives a shit? How are you going to make fun of him when he's clearly not embarrassed about it himself? So even though I find it strange, which is my problem, not his, much respect to Violent J for just practicing what he preaches, walking the walk, putting it out there. This is what he's doing. This is who he is, supporting his kid. This is the way he wants to do it. And I cannot hate on that. And in probably more relevant news, we got two big tours coming up. Violent J's E&J tour featuring Esham and Shaggy's Fuck the Fuck Off Motherfucker tour that he is bringing Ouija Mac along with. And there's a whole bunch of dates here. Some of the venues are the same. Some of the venues are different. So you're going to want to look closely at both tours to make sure which ones you can go to. But what I want to know is if that E&J tour is just going to be Esham opening for Violent J or Esham and Violent J doing shit together. Because I just saw the Malenko and Friends tour, a while ago, and Esham was opening for ICP there. So I don't really want to just see a repeat of that minus Shaggy. If we've got Esham and Jay billed as the E&J tour, I want to see shit like Boom. I want to see Candyland. I want to see the Supervillain song from the Wraith. I want to see Silence of the Hams. I want to see, damn sure want to see Chop Chop. If they do all that shit together, their classics together, among more than that even, that would be something truly unique worth seeing. And something that kind of always bothers me about these Violent J solo tours is that Violent J did a short tour in December of 2015 that they were calling the Wrestle Rap Charity Tour. And at the time, Shaggy, I believe, was having a back surgery or something, so he couldn't go on the tour. So it was just Violent J, and to try to make up for that, they kept promoting it as the only tour where Violent J will ever perform solo, which I ended up making a 6-hour drive to see one of these shows because I thought that sounded like a cool limited time experience. They kept saying it'll never happen again. So now every time Violent J does one of these solo tours, I always think back to that. Like, damn it, you said that was the only time. But either way, if you're going to put Isham into the mix, then you have a whole opportunity to do something new and different that we have not seen before. Plus, I don't know about all the Violent J solo shows that he's done since then, but at the show that I went to in 2015, he didn't do any of the Violent J solo stuff. He just did ICP songs, but his verses to them. He didn't do any of the stuff off The Shining, which I would have liked to hear songs like Jealousy and whatnot. So once again, I think that would be a good opportunity for them to do something different with it that they have not done before.
I want to bring the Juggalos up to date on what's happening with the Juggalo show.
Absolutely.
No longer will Jumpsteady be in the Juggalo show. However, he will be making appearances here and there and whatnot. But officially, it's the Juggalo show featuring Rude Boy and Keegan the Creep Ass, man. And what
big changes to the Juggalo show coming, according to Rude Boy on last week's episode of the Juggalo show. That was November the 29th. Jumpsteady will no longer be featured as one of the hosts. They said he was simply too busy, too much going on. Frankly, I'm pretty surprised and impressed that they kept it going on as long as they did. It's been about 3 years now that the Juggalo show has been going on. It was previously Rude Boy, Jumpsteady, and Kevin Gill, usually via Skype, but now it's just Rudy and Keegan. And they also mentioned that Keegan is now taking over all the social media accounts as well.
Keegan the Creep Ass is the one who's spearheading the social medias now.
So hopefully this becomes a positive change for Psychopathic. They mentioned that they want to start doing a lot of different things with the Juggalo show, a lot more road videos and whatnot, and they seem to be very open to suggestions. So if there's something that you're wanting to see on the Juggalo show that you haven't been seeing, try reaching out to Keegan through social media and letting him know your input. And Keegan is a fantastic host, I gotta say. I really like Keegan a lot. I know that with Jumpsteady gone, it's probably going to hurt some of the viewership, but Keegan seems like a real down-ass dude. And if you follow him on social media, you'll see that he's just constantly trying to put out good content for the Juggalos to enjoy. So he's dedicated. His heart's definitely in the right place. That should still be a great show nonetheless. Anybody Killa starting something that he's calling the Free Lunch Freestyles beginning January of 2019. He's been promoting that on his social media accounts. Not really a lot of word as to who's going to participate in these freestyles or how they're going to be released, but it's always good to hear some new shit by Killa. More Killa news. He has recently been added to Twisted's Twiztmas show on December 7th, so if you're going to Twiztmas, you can look forward to seeing Anybody Killa along with Twisted, Blaze, and the ROC in something that they're calling the East Side Mashup. So you know that when Anybody Killa is on the scene, there's always some freshness about to go down. JCW news. Last week on the Murder Mayhem Show, I reported that Rudy's Facebook page had mentioned major JCW news coming on the following Monday. That following Monday would have been December 3rd, as I figured it, and I haven't seen this news, whatever it is. If it's been put out there, I haven't been able to come up with it, so I don't know what the deal with that is, but I had to follow up on that since I teased it last week. So no word on that yet, to my knowledge, but if I find out what that is or if it is soon coming, then I'll let you know as soon as that drops. In other underground news, Strange Music recently did a sit-down interview with Seven, Michael Seven Summers, super producer, underground Dr. Dre, if you will. That's how I like to think of him. I don't know that I've ever seen an interview with Seven before, but I gotta say, you could not imagine a more laid-back dude, especially for some of those hard-hitting beats that he produces. As we all probably well know, he is the in-house producer for Strange Music. He does a lot of tech stuff, as well as, Chris Calico, Seth's crew, pretty much everybody on Strange 7 has dabbled in, as well as, of course, Twisted. He's done a lot of work with, even since they were on Psychopathic still. He did the whole Abominations album. He continues to fuck with M&E. He did a lot of production on the Missing Link albums for ICP. He did a lot of the last Dark Lotus album, so he never stops. There's no producer in the game right now with the range of this guy, so I was super fascinated to hear what he had to say. He talked a little bit about the new tech songs that just came out, like Fuck the Industry 2.0.
It's like the industry, has changed and changed and changed, and where it's got to now is just, such a weird place with streaming and, of course, me, Tech, and Tribe have talked about this, so much where the industry is going and what streaming has done to just music in general. And so it was just real appropriate, the whole idea of this.
He talked about the Nina album that's coming out from Tech 9. They've been releasing tracks little by little from Nina, and he had some things to say about that. He talked about Above Waves. He had a lot to say about a lot of different things. So if you want to see more insight from 7, check out the Strange Music Facebook page where that has been posted. In more music news, Juicy J of 3-6 Mafia has teased on Instagram that he's being considered for a president position at Columbia Records. Yes, that would be a huge move for Juicy, obviously. That's a big-time position, but nothing all that surprising about it. He's been part owner in A&R of the Taylor Gang for some time now, which is Wiz Khalifa's record label. They've built that up into a powerhouse. Obviously, of course, back in the day with 3-6 Mafia, he built up the Hypnotized Minds shit. He has a real business acumen for this kind of thing, so it's not all that surprising. I'm sure he could do quite well in it, but what a tremendous jump that would be. I would be proud to see that happen as a longtime 3-6 Mafia fan and Juicy J fan. I thought that was some pretty fresh news. And we got a big release coming up on December 7th. Yeah, this is the new Ice Cube album. And Ice Cube has not had an album since 2010, so this is a long-awaited release, especially because this was originally announced in 2014. Yeah, Ice Cube said on Twitter years ago that Everything's Corrupt was coming in 2014, so it's been a long time in the works, long time coming, but it's finally on the way. He's already put out a few singles. A good while back, he put out Good Cop, Bad Cop. That'll be featured on the new shit. He's also released a song called Arrest the President, which I know it's super in fashion right now to talk about that kind of shit, but you got to remember that this is Ice motherfucking Cube. He's been talking about this shit fucking forever. He's been talking about arrest the president type shit. This goes way back before Trump, so if anybody is grandfathered in to be able to talk about that shit, it's Ice Cube. You already know he's going to tell you what's on his mind. There's also a new single that just came out recently called That New Funkadelic. That's a kind of a throwback West Coast G-Funk jam. He's put out the entire track list by now, and something interesting on there is that there's only one featured guest, and that's Too Short. So that's another old school legend coming together, working on this project, helping Ice Cube out with that. And Ice Cube's been doing some press lately to talk about the new shit, and I thought this was interesting.
I've dedicated myself to doing what I do best. Right. So I'm not chasing artists and chasing a sound or chasing what's hot. I'm just doing what I do best. So when you hear Ice Cube album, it sounds like an Ice Cube album.
Yeah,
it don't sound
it does.
Like me chasing the Migos.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, he says he's not chasing any new styles. That's the shit. Good. That's how I want it. If I'm listening to Ice Cube, I want Ice Cube. I don't want auto-tune bullshit. I don't want a million features. I don't want anything trendy. I want fucking Ice Cube. And this sounds like this is going to be delivering to the people like me that want to hear that kind of shit. So Everything's Corrupt, December 7th. Looking forward to that. Hopefully that'll be the shit. I'm sure that it will be. And not only that, but he also teased that he was going to be going on tour in 2019. So that'll fucking rock. If Ice Cube is coming anywhere near me, I am definitely making the trip to see Ice Cube. I do not want to fucking miss that. I have seen Ice Cube perform at The Gathering. That was 2011, I think. That fucking rocked. That was awesome. But it's always good to see an artist headline their own concert, you know, when they influence the set and everything, you know, when they have complete control over the show. It can be a whole other animal compared to what you see at The Gathering. So that'll be the shit. I really hope that Ice Cube comes somewhere near me. And more West Coast G-Funk freshness. Snoop Dogg took some time to reflect on the 25th anniversary of Doggystyle. Yes, the 25th anniversary of Doggystyle was on November 23rd, and Revolt caught up with him to ask him some questions, a little bit of comparing the new school Snoop Dogg with the old school Snoop Dogg, seeing where they converge, and of course he had a lot of nuggets of wisdom to drop.
We were passionate about that project. We wanted that project to be everything that it is, but we didn't go into it thinking that. That's the work ethic. The work ethic was, we worked at it like professionals, as, you know, professional athletes, entertainers, or actors. We worked at it like that, to where nothing could stop it from being great, no matter what people said. In our minds, it was great. When we made it, we knew it was great. So confirmation was just people buying it, loving it, and 25 years later, it's still being talked about.
So yeah, Snoop Dogg rocks. Always has, always will. Big shout out to Snoop Dogg. Of course, he is the man. I would love to see him at The Gathering. Do it for me, Psychopathic. Shell out the money. Get Snoop Dogg in on that Super Gathering. And finally, for all you Eminem fans out there like myself, Shady just dropped an epic 10-minute video of freestyles kicking about all sorts of different subjects. Just one thing after another. Just straight lyricism, no beats, no hooks. Which, frankly, to be perfectly honest, if you want my opinion, those are the areas that Eminem's music has kind of been suffering lately. So when you just have him spitting the words and you can really just focus on the lyrics, you're like, damn, how the fuck does this dude come up with this shit? Nonetheless, on a freestyle. So if you're an Eminem fan, you definitely want to check that out. That's on Eminem's YouTube page, and it's 10 full minutes, so make sure you go to the bathroom and get your snacks first. So I think that just about does it for this episode of the Murder Mayhem Show. You can always reach all my social media pages at murdermayhemshow.com. There's Twitter, of course. That's at Murder Mayhem Guy. Facebook, facebook.com/mayhem show. The YouTube channel, youtube.com/c/Murder Mayhem Show, or just search Murder Mayhem Show on any of those things. You'll find it. Go to murdermayhemshow.com to see everything consolidated in one place, as well as blogs, the podcast, memes, all sorts of shit. Just poke around. You'll find something fresh. And if you disagree with anything that you hear me talk about, then by all means, please let me know. We can talk about that. I'm not afraid. So until next time.